Hi, I'm Albert Pasaoa.
And my name is Amy Acord.
And this is the 635 Podcast. The 635 Podcast is about local politics, economics, and social and cultural issues in the Alvin Community College area. The views expressed on the show are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of Alvin Community College. All right, welcome to the 635 Podcast, and I'm here with a new co-host, Amy Acord from Alvin Community College in the government program, and one of our new professors, instructors of government here, and she joined us last year. Amy, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Yeah, I came to ACC back in January of 2022. So this is my second full semester here. Have taught full-time at two other area institutions.
You can mention the name. What are they?
Right. So I was at Wharton County Junior College before I came here, and before that I was at Lone Star College teaching political science and government at both of those colleges as well.
Okay.
Yes. And so that's where I've been.
Yeah, and how did what school did you go to? What's your journey to what was your journey to being a
political scientist?
Yes, a political scientist.
Yeah, so that started quite a while ago. As an undergrad, I went to Texas State, and one of my degrees there is in international studies, which is heavily, seeded with political science classes and history classes. However, I kind of took a roundabout way getting to political science because in the meantime, although I did earn a graduate degree in international studies as well, I took a little turn and did some anthropology. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to the London School of Economics and Political Science in London, England, and I have a degree in anthropology and international development from there, and that was super fun but to stay to do any more graduate work there's not a whole lot of scholarships for rebellious colonists that had something to say about their government a few hundred years ago. So I came back stateside and got my master's degree in political science at the University of Houston back in 2013.
And you pursued this degree with the intent of being? Were you a college instructor of any sort before studying political science?
Yes. So I had already been qualified to teach government through my international studies graduate degree because of the political science content in there. Mm-hmm. So I had already been teaching before I received my actual political science degree.
I see.
And I had also taught anthropology before too.
Okay.
So both fun.
All right, and then so, how did you end up being in this local area? Where is I've asked this before. When people say Texas State, I'm like, it's a big state.
Yes.
Where are we? Is
yes,
this
you're not from these parts?
And I always forget. Is this a system? Is that?
Yeah. So it was originally called Southwest Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas.
Okay.
And now it's Texas State. They rebranded several years ago, and it's about 30 minutes south of Austin on 35 between Austin and San Antonio. Okay. So there will probably be lots of folks who are familiar with that. It's a very fun school to go to and a very beautiful school to go to.
And you are now involved with this organization, and we just call it PTK.
Yeah, we can call it PTK. The official name is Phi Theta Kappa.
Phi Theta Kappa.
So it's a Greek letter organization.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And briefly tell me what is it, and then what's your involvement in it?
So Phi Theta Kappa is the 2-year honor society for students attending two-year schools, whether it be a junior college or a community college. So it's actually an international organization. There are 3.5 million members across the globe. So it's not just here in the United States. We have chapters all over the place, although many community colleges and junior colleges have Phi Theta Kappa chapters on their campus. Mm-hmm. And it's specifically an honors program. So there are GPA and credit qualifications to become a member.
Okay, and so when you say 3.5 million members, these are people actively in college who are belong. Okay.
Yes, and then also a substantial number of alumni. And my co-sponsor and I, Ron Smith, we are new to Phi Theta Kappa, and we were given the task of being the advisors for this year, and so we're learning as we go. But once people are members of Phi Theta Kappa, they it's kind of very important to their lives, and so you see a lot of folks that become members, or become alumni members, and are active in the organization even after they graduate from their respective institutions.
Now, what exactly do they do?
Oh, yeah, right. So I've got all my material here, so I don't forget. So the big, or the basis of the program and the organization is scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship. So they are engaged in honors projects each year. So they will do essentially a research project over a specific topic. There's also service to their college. So the other big project they will do is called the College Project, where they work with administration, specifically the presidents of and other high administrators in the institution, and work with that and those administrators on what the college might need, what kind of service can the members be to the college, and that's at the discretion of the administration. But usually what you see students do is kind of come up with ideas that they think might be useful for their school. So it really gets them involved in kind of figuring out what are some of the needs that might be unmet at their institutions.
And you, since you're called an advisor, I was going to ask, like, who guides them? Is it just someone randomly I think I'm going to push for a hot dog stand or something? Right. Like, what's the guidance? How does that process work? How does somebody, a member of this organization begin doing projects and things? What steps would they follow? So
the organization provides guides. So I actually have here in front of me, it's the Honors Program Guide. And every year there's a topic, a broad topic that they will be researching and writing about. This year's topic is the art and science of play. And within that, they have subtopics, and you pick one. So this year, it's it could be the essence of play, the economics of play, systems of play, art, the architecture and design, the soul and even nostalgia of play. So it covers everything. So Phi Theta Kappa isn't just for academic transfer students. There's something in here that workforce, vocational students, and certificate program students can also find in here too. So you'll see that woven in throughout the different project topics. That sounds like a great topic. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah,
so, right?
Can I join and get some credit here?
Yes. Well, it goes. You have play is important to you because you're also the advisor for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club too.
Yep. Yeah, that's the first thing that went through my mind. I'm like, how can we shoehorn this one?
Yes.
But that's that would be huge. And who exactly comes up with? Is this done at the international level?
Yes, it is. It is at the they provide the guidance. Within the program, they give they give you a brief overview of the subtopic, and then they even provide kind of starter research articles for you to get you going. So they're not lost in the dark. However, it is pretty broad, so it's up to them to kind of narrow that down and figure it out, and that's part of it because it's higher level academic work and academic scholarship. So it's on them to take it in the direction that they want to.
That sounds pretty amazing that there's 3 million plus members, and then they're basically going to have this sort of unified sort of research attempt. And so basically within the next year we're going to find some research about play and things like that. Yes, and then often what the chapters will do too is they will try to tie in their college project with that, where they work with the administrators on, because that's completely separate. I see.
But maybe use the same theme. So our students were thinking of trying to tie in President Exley's focus on having competitive gaming So an
That's
esports.
right. That is, I've noticed that that's big. They got a thing going on over in Pearland, and that's a pretty big thing.
Yes.
I'm jealous also again. Like, this sounds so fun.
All right, our president is actually a competitive gamer herself, and so she's interested in exploring what interests our president might have and what our school might have for esports, it should be interesting what they collaborate and come up with.
Oh, wow.
It'll be neat. Yeah, and there's all kinds of other things that, so the big projects that they do are the Honors in Action project and the college project, and then they submit. So they have to they submit their projects for awards.
Okay.
And those are called Hallmark Awards. And this takes about a year. These run on it's a year-long process. So they start in January and then kind of
calendar year.
Yes, it's
really?
calendar year.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's calendar year. So they're kind of finishing up right now, and then in the spring it'll start all over again.
Oh,
and
that's
so it carries over into the next year. So which is kind of nice.
I would imagine that brings up like logistical problems.
It can.
Okay, how do you deal with that?
And sometimes maybe the students aren't there for the entire project, and that's fine. They're there for part of it, and that's just fine too, because with our students, they might be graduating at the end of. They might be graduating in May and had started the project in January, but that's fine. They were still able to contribute to that, and some stay. Some I've heard in some schools, some actually stay to finish out the project because they're so dedicated. So yeah, those are the two big things that they do. But there's all kinds of other stuff that they do too. All kinds of other benefits that the organization provides their students.
Now, this project, are these individual projects?
No, they're group.
Oh, wow.
They're group. It's they do it as a team. And so that there's learning involved there too, as far as teamwork and team dynamics.
That sounds so fun. That sounds so fun that it's a team effort. I mean, that in itself would be a huge draw. I mean, you hear, just the word, honors and things like that. People might just get the feeling of, oh, that just means more studying in the library by myself or something.
Yeah, and this is cool because that's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my God, I got to get this paper done for this class. They can, meet obviously outside of regular club meetings. They'll have to meet to get this stuff done, and that's just you're kind of in it for the long haul, right? So to see the creation of a project and how long it actually takes to do some of this stuff instead of just trying to beat a deadline for your fall semester class.
Now, is this project, is it one project per campus? Is there like one team? Oh,
yes.
So there's an entire Alvin team.
Yes,
okay.
So it would be all of our chapter completing this.
How big are you guys right now?
We're pretty small right now, but we are about to do a big membership drive again. So students who meet the requirements that are registered this fall, registered students who have a 3.5 GPA and at least 12 credit hours as an associate's degree-seeking student will get an invitation, and then certificate programs. Those folks will get an invitation if they have a 3.5 and 6 credit hours, at least 6 credit hours. So those are going to be going out here pretty soon. So hopefully everybody will stay on the lookout for that, because sometimes they get the invitation in their email and they don't realize that we're a legit organization.
Yeah. PCK or
yes,
something.
they have no idea what it is. And but we will, I think Ron Smith, Professor Smith and I are going to likely send out actual paper invitations to them too. So we're going to try to do that so they know that, hey, this is really important. And also target our dual credit students for membership, because as you know, a large portion of our student body are dual credit students, and they have just as much of a right to participate in this organization as our AC, our Alvin-based campus students too. So we're really looking forward to that. In fact, I had one of the members, Kara Morris. She was my dual credit student at Dawson in the spring for U.S. government. And she is now here with us. She graduated early, and she's now here with us at ACC for this year as a full-time student. Oh, wow. She is going to be our dual credit liaison. So she'll be the one going out and
Nice.
promoting this to the different high schools in Pearland, Alvin, as well as the private schools that we work with too, to tell them how great the program is and how valuable it is for them.
What's the plan for dealing with the sort of the obvious location differences?
Those are the logistics we're currently trying to figure out.
Okay.
We can definitely do virtual.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is going to depend on, for dual credit, what their structure is like on their campuses. What are the times that they would be able to meet on those campuses? Whether, like Dawson has Eagle Hour, which is that hour of lunch where a lot of clubs meet during that time. So
Yeah.
there's a possibility that like the Dawson campus could have, those students could have meetings at that certain time, but then have like a general monthly membership meeting where it's virtual and you can come to ACC or you can attend online.
And they'd be all part of the ACC team.
Yes,
like,
yes,
across
they
all
are
these
all
campuses.
across all the campuses. Yes, they'd be all part of the same chapter.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
so that sounds like the big challenge is at some
Yes.
point you got to try to get them all together in
Yes,
some way.
so that's what we're going to figure out in the spring. Well, we're going to figure it out now and then hopefully implement that in the spring.
Yeah.
And that's kind of going to be a big task.
Oh yeah, no, that's but I mean the numbers of people. So roughly how many people are there currently?
We've got a lot of members right now, but not everybody's active.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to increase right now. 'Cause, Ron and I just took over, so we're trying to increase that active membership and more meaningful membership. So we're going to be scheduling some social time and some social activities in the next month and a half before the semester ends, and also try to hook up with some of the other Southside Phi Theta Kappa chapters around us. So San Jac and College of the Mainland, Galveston College. We've already been talking with them on getting together and meeting so students from the other chapters can get to know each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And what would be sort of what's the biggest thing you would hope you can get out of that, like working with other campuses?
The organization actually requires that of you.
Okay.
If you want to achieve certain levels of status in the organization. So the Phi Theta Kappa, you get the chapters are ranked. So
Oh wow,
yes.
that's pressure.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some pressure here, and the pressure's on, especially for advisors too, to facilitate this, to help make it happen.
So
for them.
So what's our rank now?
So right now it's 1 through 5 stars. So
Oh,
right
okay.
now we're ranked at 1, but over time you increase that, and we're obviously shooting for 5. But because we've got some logistical issues going on right now, we'll see where we can get. But we're definitely, in the running for, some stars there.
What do we need to catch San Jac?
Now they've got a big chapter.
I would
San Jac-
imagine they're just big.
San Jac South has a very large and very active chapter.
So
And
that's a separate chapter, though. South
Yes.
is its own. Okay.
Yes. So with San Jacinto College, they have chapters at all of their campus locations. So they have one for San Jac South, Central, and then I can't remember where all the other ones are.
Okay.
But there are other campuses too. And so and it's also neat too because Ron and I can learn from them too. So which is really nice. But as part of one of the rankings to become a 3-star chapter, you have to have completed the work for 1 and 2 stars, but for it to be a 3-star chapter, you do have to engage with other chapters and plan events with them. So we will be doing that, and we're hoping for maybe a social hour, which would be nice, which would be fun. Maybe go roller skating or something.
Oh yeah.
Something fun.
Got
for
that
them.
one. There's a place here in Alvin. I think I drive
Yes.
past it on the 6.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and we're pretty centrally located for San Jac, College of the Mainland, and Galveston, right? So where we can, all of these places can kind of meet centrally somewhere around us. But then also Phi Theta Kappa has a professional development program for students too, and it's called the Phi Theta Kappa Edge. there's a variety of different courses that they can take. And there's let's see, healthcare, employment, transfer to 4-year institutions. There's a competitive one to be like competitive on the job market. And then there's the research edge. And that's probably the one we're going to focus on because it gives them the skills to engage in research projects. And that's going to be really important for the honors projects that they're going to be doing. So the chapters can get together and complete one of those modules like in a day. So sometimes they'll have lock-ins and they'll just all get together and complete that module, and they get credit for that with the international organization.
Oh, wow. And how are these? Are these like online?
They're online, and they're like little professional. Well, they're actually not little. They're pretty interesting professional development that they can use. They can put these things on their resume and all of that. And all of these things are all ultimately really important too for the scholarships that Phi Theta Kappa has too.
Oh.
So that's another reason why membership is really cool for them.
Okay. So me being an econ guy, where does the money come from for the scholarships?
So from the organization itself, and there's endowments for these scholarships. So, but there's let's see, the literature says, right, there are $46 million in scholarships just for PTK members across the United States.
Wow.
The average transfer scholarship offered by partner colleges, because universities will partner with PTK to say, yes, we will grant scholarships to your members, is about $2,500 a year. Oh, wow. So it's not insignificant. There are various different categories. So you can get scholarships if you are an associate's degree seeking student or a certificate seeking student while you are actually at your community college. So you can get those scholarships. And then when you're wanting to transfer to a university, there are scholarships available there too. So it's not just while you're in school here at ACC there are scholarships available. There are also scholarships available to transfer. And you name it, there's all kinds of different ones, like career tech students, nursing, what else? Veteran scholarships, and dual enrollment scholarships. So there's a ton of them out there. And then there's some really prestigious ones too. And one of those is the Coca-Cola scholarship. And that provides a substantial amount of money for students. And we'll be hopefully nominating a student from our chapter for what they call their academic team. And where they can actually receive a pretty decent sized scholarship when they transfer to
What's an academic team?
So it's kind of, how they have like a all-American team or all-state. So the Coca-Cola team, the Coca-Cola academic team is similar to that.
So they get a team of students, and then what do they do with this team?
Ron and I don't know yet. So we're still learning about that too. But it's kind of like all-state, and where it's a group of students that are highly academically talented, and because of their talents, they are offered scholarships at different levels.
Well, yeah, that'd be fun if it was some type of academic decathlon against.
That would be fun too, right?
Against the Pepsi team.
Yeah, that would be great.
You get some competition going there.
That. Yes, and more money for students too, right?
And so students would have to apply. So they have to be a member of PTK and then also apply, and then that allows them to apply.
That allows them to apply for all of these scholarships. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what's it been like so far? Like you've just, when did you become advisor?
Right at the beginning of the semester. So mid to late August is when Ron and I assumed the reins for the organization.
Oh, so there's been a complete turnover in the campus, I guess, leadership.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so we're learning as we go. Luckily, I have some good contacts within the organization itself from previously their former colleagues of mine that I've worked with at other colleges that are in the international organization. So that's really nice to have guidance there. Super big thanks to Susan and Jeff Edwards. Susan Edwards is actually one of the authors of the Honors in Action Guides, and she's a vice president. She's the associate vice president of the honors programming and undergraduate research for the organization. So she's been extremely helpful in guiding Ron and I through this process as we ramp up our knowledge of the organization.
Well, that's huge that you have a contact whose name is
who's
printed
in the
on
book.
a magazine.
Yes.
You know they're big.
Yes, and Susan and I know each other actually because at Lone Star, she was the Phi Theta Kappa advisor there, but she also ran Model UN, and she gave me Model United Nations. So that's my, I guess, heritage in student organizations, is I come from the Model United Nations world before doing PTK. So it's a really interesting group. We actually just went to a conference a couple weekends ago.
Wait, which, the PTK?
Yes.
Okay.
So we went to.
The students went.
The students went,
oh, wow.
and I attended as well, and it was the Texas Regional Leadership Conference, and it was at University of Houston downtown for the weekend. And so they got to engage in a lot of interesting workshops and breakout sessions, and they had some really great keynote speakers, and got to know all of the, all of these folks, all of the students from different chapters across the state of Texas.
So this was specifically a PTK conference.
It was specifically a PTK conference for the Texas region.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And apparently we're like one of the biggest, if not the biggest region, I think.
So the region is Texas. That's,
yes.
And they had a thing in Houston.
Yes.
Oh, that's huge.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. At U of H downtown, which was, I had never been to that campus before.
Yeah.
And that was a neat campus. That was a really nice campus. It was very enjoyable. Yeah.
That's great. Is it always in Houston?
No, they have it all over. That just depends on what they're doing that year. So it was nice to have it in Texas this year, or in Houston this year, so we could easily go there.
So now, what's your vision? What's your vision of, what would you like to see, I don't know, 3 years from now?
So it takes a while to build a chapter, just like any other organization. So we're hoping this semester to be able to really build fellowship with new and existing members, to do some team building. So when we start up in January, we have a good team built, and we're ready to take on the new Honors in Action and college projects. So that's our goal for now, is team building for the next month and a half. And then starting in January, we will be on track for the Honors in Action and college projects. And my hope is that we can achieve 5-star status.
Wow.
Right. So that's our goal. And that's, submitting things and submitting everything. That's dotting your I's, crossing all the T's. After that, though, once we get a good rhythm going as far as completing these projects, is focusing on actually winning the awards.
Oh.
And so that will be kind of the next phase. Obviously, we want to do that. We want to try to do that all the time anyways. But again, it can take some time to develop chapters, and that's what we're hoping to do. So that's our long-term goal.
What type of awards? Like what categories are
so they can get awards they're called hallmarks, and they can get awards for the quality of their Honors in Action projects, the quality of their college projects. They can receive awards they have other smaller things like case studies that they can submit. And then also there are individual awards from members, how hard they've worked and the research that they've done. They can submit awards for that. We can submit awards for administrators that have been instrumental in the success of the chapter, advisors, you name it. And so we'll definitely be doing that. And then you're recognized at the national conference.
Wow.
And you receive accolades for that.
And would some students and advisors be heading out to the national conference? How does that work?
We're hoping so. We're hoping to do that in this next. I believe the national conference is coming up in the spring, and so we're hoping to be able to take new and existing members to that conference. It's in Ohio this time. I believe it's in Cleveland. And that'll be fun. Some students have never left the area, so it'll be neat for them to be able to travel to do that. And I've heard that it's something like 4,000 students, 4,000 members.
That would go to the conference?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds exciting.
So it's big time. Yeah, our members already want to go. They're already excited about the possibility that they could go do that.
And then, so now you're going to be recruiting a new
group,
even more group. So for this coming year, is that the one where the topic is fun?
It's right now. It's right now and in the spring.
Oh,
so
it carries
so
over.
This is January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2023. So it carries over.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, that makes a lot more sense then.
And so it's kind of a two-year thing. And so you could refine it the next time you do it. If you you have the option to do that. So we're gonna be starting all over again in January. We'll be doing a big membership drive here in the next week, and then we'll be doing another one in January once we get the qualified students from that have just qualified that meet the 3.5 and 12-hour qualification for the spring too.
And what does your outreach look like? How are you getting people in?
So we enter the data into the Phi Theta Kappa international website. They send out invitations to the students, and then we'll follow that up with our own communication. Ron and I will follow that up with our own communication, likely with actual paper invitations, because that's special to them.
Yeah.
And then also emails.
How does that work? So in terms of, do you send an application to PTK, and then from those pool of applications they send invites, or? So
yeah, they don't have to actually apply. So they're already if they meet the standards, right, the requirements, 3.5 and 12 hours or 6 hours, then they will get an invitation from us, from the international organization, and from the advisors, and from ACC.
So yes. Students are still applying, and
then they would go in to the website and confirm their membership.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's a pretty easy process. It's not super complicated.
And so, just for the listeners, what are the standard, like, who do you make your pitch to? What should be on their application that would give them an invite?
Oh, no, they're automatically invited.
They're automatically
yes.
invited.
So they're automatically invited. If they have a 3.5 GPA.
3.5 GPA, okay.
12 hours as a degree-seeking student, or 6 hours as a certificate student, they're automatically invited.
Okay.
And they automatically qualify. So they don't even have to fill out an application.
Well, that's good, 3.5 GPA, because I could imagine a lot of people saying, this is way too hard for me or something. So.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay. So it's very open, and then,
yes.
Yeah.
Very inclusive. There are membership dues. There are scholarships for that too, and we'll be raising money at the ACC Fall Festival in a week and a half or so.
Oh, that's right. What are you guys doing?
We're kind of torn, but I think we're going to carry over what they did last year, which was having a little fishing game that the kids play, like with a little kiddie pool, and they have little fishing lines, and it's $1 a shot, and then if they get something, they get some candy. And apparently they did really well last year with that. Okay. We were also thinking about mini cupcake decorating. Might be a little messy. Depending on how old the kids are, but we're thinking of that too. So that'll be our money generating project for us, for the chapter. And then we're also considering starting up an offshoot of the chapter, having an alumni club.
Oh, that'd be
because
fun.
There are members on this campus, there are faculty and staff.
Wow.
That are former Phi Theta Kappa members.
Oh, that's so cool.
Including Dr. Exley.
Oh.
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but Dr. Exley was the international president of Phi Theta Kappa when he was at San Jacinto College.
All right.
So.
Connections.
Yes.
That's the other benefit, right?
Yes.
Do you guys have a special handshake or
I don't know. See, I don't know these things yet. Ron and
you
I,
do know, but you can't tell me, so
possibly,
I understand.
Yes, that might be it. Yes, so we're hoping to do that, and we have some very interested faculty members on campus that we would like to recruit to be part of an alumni club
I'm starting to feel left out. Everyone's going to be PTK but me.
Yes.
Kids, hurry up and join.
Yes.
But do you guys have a lounge, or do you have a physical?
We don't. We have a storage room in the G building.
All right.
But we don't have an official.
You should claim a table in the cafeteria. Just put a little piece of paper,
yes,
PTK.
PTK only. No, we do not. But we'll have a meeting room that we will likely meet in regularly. And then they're always welcome to come hang out with me and Professor Smith.
That's great. That sounds so fun. I'm kind of bummed out I missed out on this thing as a kid. So
yeah, me too. I think this is way better than the sorority that I belong to. Yeah.
Do you guys have T-shirts with your Greek symbols on it?
Yes, we do. We're getting those ordered, so
That's
everybody
huge.
will have their Greek letter T-shirts. And yes, Ron already has his. I don't have mine yet. But from the Texas region, they're really cool too, because it has Texas Phi Theta Kappa, the Greek letters. So that's that looks really cool, especially when you go to the national conference that everybody wants to distinguish themselves that they're from the Texas division. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot. Amy Acord, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next time.